Greetings, beloved Star Child Rising. You are in Christina's Corner, and I am Christina. Welcome back to another episode of Meditation Musings. So, this one is a little different. So, yesterday, when I was meeting with the Lyran Royal Council, when it came time that I was asking if there was a message that they wanted me to share, I started feeling a sensation in my eyes. My eyes were closed, and I was feeling a sensation, like kind of like I could tell that they were saying to open my eyes. So immediately I felt like the topic was open your eyes. So I was thinking it would have something to do about, you know, pay attention to your surroundings, open your eyes to, see and notice the signs or whatever. And I was kind of waiting for them to share what the message was. But this time it was different. This time they weren't giving me the message. This time what they wanted me to do was to take the message and to share three, as a matter of fact, examples of how the message of open your eyes has impacted my life, or how did it lead to growth in my life. And so when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, but there are so many experiences that I have experienced throughout my life. I wouldn't know where to begin. And they were basically like, you'll figure it out. Just three that have, led to your growth. And so this was yesterday, and this morning, I just wanted some clarification. Was there any specific ones? But I didn't get any from them, I don't think. But I came up with the three. So maybe I did. I came up with the three pretty much right away. So the first one is when I wanted to get a sign from my spirit team that I was moving in the right direction, aside from, seeing like 111. I just have an urge to look at the clock or my watch, and it's, 111 or 1111, or, or I'm just happen to look on the road and the car in front of me has a license plate, 111, which happens all the time. And I just, said to my spirit team, I know you're not going to tell me what to do. You never do. But I like some sign that I'm moving in the right direction. And so one day when I was meditating, I, felt the urge to open my eyes and look up. And I looked up, and way high in the sky, this bird appeared out of nowhere. It wasn't cloudy or anything. It was a clear day, and it just appeared. And I knew, as soon as I saw that bird, I knew there was going to be two more. I knew that three was my number, and I was going to see three. And sure enough, after the one came up, next thing was another one appeared out of nowhere. And they were flying around each other. And then before you know it, there was a third one that came, and and I waited to see if there was a fourth one to prove me wrong. You know how we do, and and it didn't come. It was just the three of them, and I just, was like crying as I was seeing it. I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was one example of, opening, quite literally opening my eyes and looking for, you know, not to miss the signs that we're asking for. So that was one example. All right, another example was when I had two cats, Shimmy and Coco, and they were brother and sister. And they weren't like cuddly close. They got on each other's nerves or whatever. But there was one point where they were getting like dangerously violent with each other. I mean, like really having howling, like going after each other. Actually, the boy was going after the girl, and I didn't know what was making him so mad. I had taken, the girl because she was like really scared and howling, and I took her to the vet, and the vet was kind of like, we can give her some like cat Xanax, and I was like, I'm not doing that, to her. I just don't see that that was the issue. Um, and so one day I was kind of playing with them with a cat toy to try to, raise their frequency. And I saw a multitude of lights, like a spiritual being, but I knew it was an animal because it was very low to the ground. And it was like following the toy that I had, like it was trying to play with my cats. And they saw it, and the girl kind of lost her mind, and the boy was mad. And because the lights were swirling around my girl cat, my boy cat went after her like with a vengeance. So then I knew that I had something that was like animal spirit or something that was in the house, and I had no idea what to do, like none. This was many years ago. So I happened to be, looking through my wallet and came across this business card of a shaman that I had met many, many, many years ago. I had went to a psychic fair and had a reading with this guy. I remember him, but the reading was so abstract and above my head that I had no idea what he was talking about. But I just remember that he was a shaman. He gave me his business card, and I just stuck it in there. And I knew that shamanism had something to do with nature and, animals and, something along those lines about, and I knew it was an animal spirit. So I just took the chance. It was years later, and called him, and I got his answering machine. Back then we had answering machines. I'm dating myself. And so I left a message for him, a long message. I said, this is going to sound strange. I don't know what to do. I believe that there's some type of animal spirit in my home that is, scaring my cats, and I just don't know what to do. So I'd like to try to set up an appointment with you or something that maybe you can help me like talk this through and, what I could do. And so, if you get this message, if you could, call me back and we can try and set something up. So that same day, he returned my call and I wasn't there. So he left a message for me. And the message said, we do not have to, set up an appointment for this. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. And so he said that I believe that you have two cats. I didn't tell him I had two cats. But he said, I believe you had two cats, and one is a boy and one is a girl. This was all on the message. And he said, the girl is really upset about this. And it was true. It was the girl that was like deathly afraid of what was going on. And He said that it is he wasn't sure what kind of animal it was. He said it's a small animal. He said, I believe that you live near the woods. And he was right. You know, we lived right next to the woods. And he said, and you have a balcony, which I did. And the animal was curious because had seen your cats. He said, I think it's another cat or, some type of small animal. And it's just curious and wants to play. It wants to play, but the girl cat is really upset. He said, so what you do is, he said, you go get some sage, and you say this sentence 3 times as you move around your apartment and every area with the sage. So I went out, you know, at that point, I had never used sage before. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what he was telling me to say. It was something about an animal diva to come get your animal or whatever and take them, or something like that. I don't even remember what it was. But whatever it was, I said it 3 times and I did exactly what he told me to do. And that from that point on, as immediately after I did that, we never saw that animal spirit again. And everything just went right back to normal with the cats. And so that, me actually paying attention to whatever, I was seeing, and following up with it, and led me to want to know more about shamanism and learn more about shamanism, and opened my mind up to know that there is a lot more to energy and energy work, that it extends throughout, the entire galaxy. And it led to me being more open minded, and me, delving in deeper to learn more about this amazing universe. So that was the second example I wanted to share. And then the third one happened, I'd say within a year, maybe last year, probably last year, maybe a year and a half ago. It was before I was starting my meditation practice on a daily basis. I had seen, while I was in my bathroom, I seen out of my peripheral vision a bunch of geometric shapes that was like floating around me. And I just stayed with it and I watched it. I saw a lot of triangles and different shapes. And I was like, what in the world is going on? What is this? What am I seeing? What does all this mean? And so I was talking to a friend of mine who, like, is into, like, does Reiki, that I had met not long prior to this happening. And I ran it by him and I was like, I don't, what do you think this is? And he said, it sounds like sacred geometry. You should Google that and look into it. And so that's what I did. And it seems like, me Googling and seeking and wanting to know more everywhere I turn, I'm learning about sacred geometry and what that means. And it's just opening up and inspiring me to learn more and more about this fascinating journey. And so, I've said from the beginning, this channel is me on my journey, and whoever feels called to listen to some of the videos that I feel nudged spiritually to share, to join me on this journey as we learn and evolve together. And so this is what I feel that they're calling me to do. And so this is what I'm doing. And so I think it's pretty nice that, either we're going to mix it up, or, they're going to nudge me to be more vulnerable and sharing some of the experiences in my life. So there you go. So I hope this resonated with any of you who are watching. And stay tuned for the next one. I'm sure there will be more to come. So love and light to you.